This prep honestly means everything to me. It's not just about getting on stage, and it's certainly not about winning trophies. You know, it's been a pretty, and this isn't all per me, it's been one of the toughest years of my life. There's been a lot of changes for me personally. So to me, this has been a big transition from one period of my life into potentially, the next period of my life. I'm Neil Rennie. I am now 8 weeks out from PCA Ireland, which will be the main show of the year. Probably another couple of shows, but that's my main focus for this one. I've been bodybuilding competitively for 5 years. Prior to that, I was training, doing like photo shoot stuff, all the general sort of fitnessy sort of things, that you see. Really, when lockdown hit, I wanted something that gave me a goal, a purpose and a drive, and really established a little bit of routine. And honestly, from there, I fell in love with it. I'm a coach myself. I coached really more lifestyle clients until the last 5 years, and then from there it's kind of, because of my passion group for bodybuilding, that's where I put the majority of my energy in my clients. So taking people to stage, photo shoots, these major transformations, and then I'm just heavily involved in the scene now in terms of like the podcast and everything else that comes along with it. First and foremost, success really means being at your absolute best. I think if you can stand there and say, I've given this absolutely everything, that's a win in itself. Then when it comes to the actual extrinsic portion of what is success to me in that day, realistically, I want to be competitive against some of these big guys, but I want to place them. I'd like to be at least getting third, but I'm going into it with the mentality that I'm going to be my absolute best, and then that falls where it falls. But I'm a competitive person. Bodybuilding to me gives me something. People do it, I think, sometimes for the wrong reasons. Yes, the stage is important, the trophies are important, it's part of it, but really it's that ability to progress every single day, be heavily involved in that process. It gives me structure to my day, it gives me routine, and it's built my community and my environment. The majority of my friendships are based within this circle. Initially I set myself this 5-year project in bodybuilding. This is the 5th year of it. I started at Men Physique at 158 pounds on stage. I'll step on stage somewhere in the mid 200 to 210 this year. I thought that would be all I need and get from it, but my personal love and passion for it is only growing, and I see this realistically now as the start for me of what's to come. I'm going to go into this in another year or so's time, and it'll be even more competitive, and then I'm going to win overall titles. So prep this year, I've been dieting now for 9 weeks, and I'm now 8 weeks out, as I say. My off season, I pushed up to around 235 pound. Currently, I'm at around 207. And it's been very much a process now of digging off some body fat, filling it back up, keeping it fresh. So in that respect, it's looking different, and I feel a lot different than I have in previous preps. Usually I've been, to be honest, on my arse, but this stage sleep's good, mindset's good, energy's fairly good. So it's been different in them regards, and there's been a fair whack of weight pulled off already. The next 8 weeks, you tend to find it should get a little bit harder, but honestly, I'm trying to say it's not. That you take things day by day, and they build into weeks, they build into months, and then you're there before you even know it. And for me this year, it's about being more coachable and just listening to what's being said, because I put my trust in that person, shout out Brian, and delivering a very good result. If I can stand there and know that I've done everything I need to do, then Brian does his job, then it'll be a good result.
Perfect. If you want to add something, what was it you said something the other day about people kind of wanting to skip to the end of prep?
Yes.
So you want to add something like that into it?
Like one of the big take homes at every prep, I will try and remind myself of something that should stick with me. And, you know, this year probably more so than ever, but it's about like being present within that process. Like a lot of times people starting to go, right, I am 8 weeks out or this far out, and all they worry about is show day, and they actually then lose the enjoyment and the fun of what bodybuilding really is, which is just process driven. Yes, there's an outcome, there's a tangible outcome, but it's those little steps every day that make it in. So like that's why I've enjoyed so much like going to different gyms, trying to be more present and more focused on like what am I doing now, what am I doing today, what am I doing in that moment, and then with the understanding that together that builds something much greater than the sum of the parts.
Perfect. I want to get one more. And do you feel the sport gets the respect that it deserves?
The sport itself, like it's an extreme sport, so not everybody is going to understand it. Not everybody's going to understand the reasons why you do it, or really what goes into it. You know, I don't think it to me personally, it doesn't matter what the outside world view it as. It matters to me how my peers view me and what they take from it.
Ain't many that are built like me. I'm the last of my kind. Grew up on the back road, baby. I know how to survive. Being out with the young guns blazing, so you better not try. You'll never find another like me. I'm the last of my kind. I'm the last of my kind. I'm the last of my kind. Got folks that carry some shit, can't cross state lines. Ducking cops in the dirt hills, baby. We ain't paying no fines. If you're coming to the sticks, still maybe bring a 4-wheel drive. You'll never find another like me. I'm the last of my kind. I'm the last of my kind. I'm the last of my kind. Try to find another just like me.
And there'll be one round, and it's just practicing that breathing. For me, a big part of it's midsection control, because it's so easy. Like if I stand at the side, stomach's out, and you'll see a lot of guys with more muscle are having to eat more food. They have these big bloated midsections, but often it's just the midsection control thing and breathing, and then they're unfit. And that's what you'll see on stage, a lot of big, stomach breathing from your chest, little small breaths, smiling as you do it, it all counts. See, I always say now I am, 2 weeks out, from my PCA Birmingham show, and then I'm doing PCA Ireland. Something that I didn't mention in the last vlog, because I didn't actually know it myself, was I done a show last weekend, UK BFF. I was talking to my coach and he's like, mate, you're basically ready to go. So I thought, let's be spontaneous, and that's been a big thing for me this year, is like, right, have experiences, because that's what this whole sport is about. So I booked the flight about 4 days beforehand, flew at 5 in the morning, and was back for 1 a.m. and came second in the 90 kilo and above class against a couple of big guys. Conditioning was very, very good. Came second. One of a brilliant day, and one of probably the best bodybuilding experiences I had, because there was no pressure. I wasn't going, right, count down the days, and that's important to have that intent behind your goal. But at the same time, if you're ready, you're ready. And often all that stress of thinking about where I need to be, what I need to be, focusing on that day, it actually is like a negative for your physique. And I found that was one of the best looks I had, one of the best experiences I had, and it was almost stress-free just because I didn't put the pressure on myself. So that's something, a lesson that I'm certainly going to take moving forward in these other shows, is actually work's pretty much done. You enjoy it, you love it, or just go and do it. Hello and welcome back to the What's the Crack Irish Bodybuilding Podcast with your host Neil Rennie. We are rolling these episodes out weekly now. You know, we're now on to episode 25 and I've had some great guests on. This week on the podcast, I'm excited for this one. I've actually been watching this guy's stuff for a long time, and he had a phenomenal it's a phenomenal season there. It's just passed. Now into his off season. Dara McNamara, I appreciate you coming on, mate. How you been?
I said it's the classic aura, and you should not switch from one division.
Your steps are going to be what you get because you're going to be travelling as well, which is a stress, and then we'll get you picked up as well tonight. So I'm looking forward to it, and you should be very proud of yourself. Alright guys, so today in this session I have it's a hamstring glute session. My training split across the week. My training's changed dramatically over the years. You'll see there even before I start, I do a hell of a lot of warming up and thinking about the movements I'm trying to do. So every back session, hamstring session, I'll do a lot of core work to begin with and a lot of mobility work, because you'll tend to find people's backs go because their glutes are tight, their hips are tight, so I'll open my hips up a hell of a lot before it. But the training split at the minute, because of my knees and how they've been, they're a hell of a lot better now though. I'll do one full quad session on a Monday, and I'll split into my leg training where the day's glute and hamstring, and then it's push, pull, and a bit of upper body. But you'll see even with the training, it's fairly thought out and smart. So I'll work with the strength curve, so a lot of my movements at the start will be short and range movements. My RDL, where everybody loves doing that because load a lot of weight, it's great for Instagram. Actually right at the back end, when I'm working the length and range, when I'm already fatigued, without anywhere near the same amount of load on it, and saving my back, because at the end of the day, longevity in this sport is what builds muscle. You know, smashing it for 6 months is one thing, but smashing it for 5 years correctly, that's where you actually get progress, and that's where you climb up the levels. Everything feels so dry, it's crazy, it's weird. It literally feels like the skin is just nipping against the muscle. It's a mad feeling, like you just don't experience it ever until you're at that level of body fat, but the body is a mad thing. Quite a bit in that session there. Finishing off, lying hamstring curl. It's a lot of hamstrings, it is, but admittedly, I think it's brought them up and a little bit more volume, taking a little bit more thought away from just loading, and thinking about actually doing the thing right. So a little bit, finish off, little volume, 10 to 15 rep range, 2 sets, and then some posing. So that is hamstrings and glutes done, and I am pretty gassed, but you know what, it's a good session, it's effective. This performance is still decent, to be honest with you. It's not a million miles off where it was, you know, in terms of still pinning the hamstring curl, etc. Tomorrow I have a client over from Newcastle competing in PCA Naturals up in Derry. So actually meeting up with Jill Wade to get a session in up there. So another good weekend, busy weekend, but busy keeps that good, and that's really important. The mindset, wherever the mindset is, the body will follow. So class session, a little bit of posing, it's a wrap. So guys, that is where we're sitting at it. 3 weeks out. Obviously, I already done a show. I've got a show in 2 weeks, but this one's all about the Derry. This season's all about the Irish show. So next time you see me, I will be a few days out from that Derry show, and then you'll have me on show day as well. But what you'll see over the next few weeks, there's not a lot changing. It's just about refining that physique. Today, I'm a little bit flat, so we just start filling into that show, drying off, and bringing that 100% look.
The PCA Classic overall bodybuilding categories is number